A few weeks ago, I was surprised to spot a cluster of flea beetles on some of the young pak choi plants. These tiny beetles have been one of the main pests in the leafy brassica plants in these quick rotation crop beds for a lot of the growing season, but I didn't expect to see them around causing damage this late in the year. There weren't many of them, only in one section of this patch of pak choi, eating a lot of holes in the leaves of the young plants that were only transplanted into the bed 5 weeks earlier. I suspect these beetles were from one batch of eggs that were laid late in the season. These crops had been covered with fleece for the previous 3 weeks, and I assume these beetles benefited from this microclimate that was created just as much as the plants did. They had chewed enough tiny holes to set back the plants a bit, so I decided to use my small butane torch to try to zap these tiny beetles before they could quickly jump away. The sudden intense heat from the torch flame seemed to kill most of them, but a few probably escaped, and I was hoping that the blast from the flame was short enough to not cause too much damage to the leaves of the plants. 2 weeks later, we uncovered these beds again and the pak choi plants are growing well, but the plants that had the most flea beetle damage seemed a bit smaller. The older leaves still have holes in them, but the younger leaves are mostly unaffected, indicating that I did manage to kill most of the beetles 2 weeks ago. I spotted at least one flea beetle remaining on the plants, which hopped away before I could get my torch. It will likely continue to eat tiny holes in the plants, at least until this unseasonably warm weather that we are having comes to an end. Hopefully it won't eat enough to be able to survive the winter to reproduce another generation of these beetles next spring. Thankfully, the damage to the leaves from the heat of the butane torch was less than I expected and hard to spot with all the other damage to the older leaves. So, late season flea beetle damage to brassica plants is now a thing I should probably be looking out for, especially under cover. And if I can use the torch to kill any that I spot, I might be able to reduce the population of this pest for next year.